Now, the Electoral Commission, EC, has raised concerns regarding the shortcomings of the guarantor system used to identify citizens for the voters' registration process. Now, the Commission conveyed its apprehensions during a press briefing titled "Let the Citizen Know," held on Thursday. There is more in this report found by Citi News' Rachel Engman and read to you by Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Parliament rejected the constitutional instrument proposed by the Electoral Commission in March this year. This instrument aimed to establish the Ghana card as the sole registration document for voting purposes. As a response, the Electoral Commission organized a press briefing under the theme, "Let the Citizen Know." During this briefing, the Commission questioned the legislative instrument utilized by Parliament, which involves the use of the guarantor system to identify Ghanaian citizens. The Commission deemed this approach inherently flawed and challenged.
Why should we continue to use the guarantor system, which opens the door to corrupt and illegal practices and undermines the credibility of our register, some 30 years after it was first introduced, and especially now when nearly 18 million Ghanaians above the age of 15 years have the Ghana card? How can we continue to rely on the guarantor system to identify a citizen? How can we continue to rely on the guarantor system to identify who a citizen is when Parliament has by itself passed a legislative instrument which states that for the purpose of identification of a citizen of Ghana, the Ghana card will be the sole document to be relied upon? And here, permit me to quote Regulation 7.1 of LI 2111, which states that a national identity card issued to an individual shall be used for a number of transactions where identification is required. One of the mandatory transactions stated in Regulation 7.1 is the registration of voters. It is therefore unfortunate that after making and passing a law that established the Ghana card as a sole means of identification of a citizen, we are by ourselves undermining the very law that we have made.
EC Chairperson Jean Mensah lamented over the delays in the issuance of Ghana card by the National Identification Authority. Insufficient resources were cited as the primary reason for the delay. Consequently, the Electoral Commission found itself compelled to rely on the current constitutional instrument due to these constraints.
As a commission, we find it unfortunate that our efforts to strengthen the credibility and integrity of our voters' register, and by extension, our elections, by the introduction of the draft CI, did not receive the support of Parliament. Members of Parliament were of the view that the NIA should fully operationalize its mandate before the CI could be considered. Sadly, as we all know, the NIA has not fully commenced its operations nationwide due to a lack of resources. That leaves us with no option than to rely on the current CI with its inherent challenges to conduct a voters' registration exercise until such time as the NIA would become fully operational.
Jean Mensah also announced crucial information during the briefing. The upcoming voters' registration process is scheduled to commence on Tuesday, September 12 and conclude on Monday, October 2, 2023, including weekends. The registration will be conducted across all 268 district offices, targeting eligible voters who could not register during the 2020 registration process.
Pursuant to Regulation 2.1 of the Public Elections Registration of Voters Regulations, CI 2016, CI 91, as amended by CI 126, the Electoral Commission will embark on a voters' registration exercise in all the 268 district offices of the Commission. The registration exercise will commence on Tuesday, the 12th of September, 2023, and end on Monday, the 2nd of October, 2023. The exercise will be held between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. each day, including Saturdays and Sundays.
It was also revealed that the district-level elections are set to take place on Tuesday, December 19, 2023. This election date applies to most districts except for Nkwanza North and South in the Bono region.
In the time past, we elected a president with less than 40,000 votes between the first and second runners-up. In our view, this should not be countenanced or tolerated by any quarters, as it has the potential of undermining the credibility of our elections. The question we asked ourselves is, why should we continue to use the guarantor system, which opens the door to corrupt and illegal practices and undermines the credibility of our register some 30 years after it was first introduced, and especially now when nearly 18 million Ghanaians above the age of 15 years have the Ghana card?